Hello everyone, my name is William Gonzalez. I am a family medicine physician here in Orlando, Florida. It's a pleasure. I made this video to share with you some of my thoughts and some ideas that I have in creating this concept of telemedicine in medical education. I practice under the name of remote medical care. I am an independent physician and I contract with healthcare organizations to provide primary care via telemedicine. Aside from my clinical practice, I am a volunteer faculty with the University of Central Florida with their College of Medicine, and I'm helping with a few telemedicine initiatives, including the development of a telemedicine elective for their medical students. I'm also affiliated with the American Telemedicine Association and with the Southeastern Telehealth Resource Center. I'm also very active in research. My interests are primary care, innovative care models, and telemedicine in medical education, of course. And I want to start by stating that I have no actual or potential conflict of interest in this presentation. I'm doing this purely out of passion and love for what I do. This is my contact information, my email, phone, and this is my website link. Check it out. Basically, it's more about me and about what I do and some resources that I have in the webpage. And the description for the telemedicine in medical education interest group is to create a forum for collaboration and discussion of ideas related to telemedicine and telehealth education. Some historical perspective regarding this project. Well, telemedicine and value-based healthcare, we know that healthcare is shifting to value-based models, and telemedicine and telehealth are essential to this. It removes geographic barriers, distance barriers. It brings healthcare to where the patient is. It decreases the cost of providing the services and also improves the efficacy and productivity of these services. What is the market? What is the telemedicine and telehealth market? And I'm bringing this up to show that this is not a fad or this is not something cool. In fact, telemedicine and telehealth is well established with investment and a good size market. In 2018, the market was estimated at $50 billion and is predicted to grow as much as $267 billion by the year 2026. And this is being driven mostly by increase in service demands, telehealth-friendly regulation, friendly policy, and friendly reimbursement schemes, and new products and technologies. 96% of all major employers offer telemedicine as part of their health plan benefits. 76% of U.S. hospitals connect with patients and consulting physicians using telemedicine. And actually, our students are going to be training in these same hospitals that are adopting telehealth and telemedicine. So it's really important that we educate our students so they're ready to participate in these hospitals using telemedicine. In addition, the rise of direct-to-consumer telemedicine and their partnerships with payers and employers and hospitals are creating new models in primary care and in healthcare delivery, period. For example, most payers have already partnerships with direct-to-consumer telemedicine companies, such as Anthem and Life Health Online, and Cigna with American Well and MD Live, and so forth. So these are well-established trends. It's growing. Telemedicine is growing, is diffusing, and like I said, is disrupting and creating new models for healthcare delivery. As organizations are growing and adapting telemedicine, these same organizations are finding specific barriers that are common theme. These are funding barriers, reimbursement barriers, policy and licensing barriers, connectivity and broadband infrastructure barriers, and physician adoption, which is in itself a barrier to the implementation of telemedicine programs. The lack of physician adoption in itself can be attributed to lack of education or deficiency in education of telemedicine. So there is a need for telemedicine education in order to leverage and implement these telemedicine programs. Medical students have been shown to graduate feeling unprepared to utilize telemedicine effectively. Formal telemedicine education appears to lag behind published guidelines by the American Telemedicine Association and medical specialty boards. Despite growth and diffusion of telemedicine, telemedicine itself remains noticeably absent from medical school curriculums. The rapid growth of telehealth for healthcare delivery has exposed the lack of training available in U.S. schools of medicine. Even though today's students are well-versed in technology, we cannot assume that they're going to be good at providing healthcare services via telemedicine. So we really need to educate our students on how to provide medical care via telemedicine. Telemedicine will eventually be part of medical school education. It's a matter of time. And residency programs are going to look at whether students were trained in telemedicine or not. So we really need to start looking into how to incorporate telemedicine in the education of our students. What is being done right now? The American Medical Association in 2016 adopted policy to encourage telemedicine in medical education. And basically, this policy encourages stakeholders to include core competencies in telemedicine in undergraduate and graduate medical education. Early this year, 2019, the Association of American Medical Colleges, or AAMC, created a telemedicine competency work group to develop telemedicine competencies, with hopes to include these competencies as part of core medical education curriculums. This is being directed by Scott Shipman, who is the Director of Clinical Innovations at the AAMC. In addition, there are already two telemedicine fellowship programs in the country. One is at the George Washington University, and the other one is at Thomas Jefferson University. What I think are the next steps that we all need to be taking as educators. One is inclusion of telemedicine competencies in medical and health education overall at undergraduate and graduate levels. These competencies can be included in rural medicine courses or even in interprofessional education events and competencies. Competencies can also be included in clerkship rotations, as well as in residency and graduate training. In addition, the faculty and the attendings of these medical students or healthcare students, they also need to be educated and trained in telemedicine. And this can be achieved via continued medical education by integrating provider adoption strategies, which are well documented and published. It is my interest in collaborating in this initiative. I've done a lot of research and I've presented some on this topic. I just want to share my experience and my knowledge because I think it's important. I welcome feedback. I want to hear comments. I want to know what is the interest out there. Please feel free to share this with anyone that you think might be interested. You have my contact information. Um, in the near future, we'll be sending invitations to have a live teleconference where we can discuss this um, and go from there. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for listening, and I look forward to hear from all of you. Bye-bye.